This is from Big Fry TV. It's called "The Shareline Devs Have Responded to Backlash." There was a prior video to this that I didn't that I watched, but I didn't need to react to it. Just to help me get context to this. If you want to actually check that video in particular before checking this out, you can turn away from the stream right now before going for this one, because if this is a reaction I need to go for, just to this is going to tell the future of FPS games that are trying to make it there. They're trying to make it with a name for themselves. Okay? Basically, that's how it is. This is something that might be huge for this if the niches are the same for games. Basically. All right. Without further ado, I think it's about good time we get through this. Hold on. Wait. I'm just gonna check the battery. Ah, it's already charging. All right, that's good. That's good. I just need to make sure that my shit's in order before I start moving on. I'm just making sure my my system is on performance mode. My stream PC at least. Because for some reason, okay, and I hate the fact that it isn't. For some reason, it might not be in performance mode. Give me a sec. Put it on performance mode, my friend. You're going to need it. This is always on performance mode. Seriously, why put it against performance mode? What the heck is that for? Jeez, you're gonna throttle the processors too? The fuck? Anyway, we'll start to react to this because this is something you guys need to hear if you want to try to save your favorite first-person shooter. If you're tired of the first-person shooter genre getting bombed with whatever bullshit just because of its imperfections based on its development or whatever, anything behind the scenes needs to really be a basis of how games are made and what decisions are made between for the games that are concerned. So I feel definitely if first-person shooters have unfortunately been integrated with NFTs, non-fungible tokens that are pretty much either useless or lazy, we should know about it. Basically, they lied to us for a couple of years already. The devs lied to me for years. I didn't think that this would be their final strategy on the failing game because they didn't market it enough. This game had something to me before, but now I thought it was just a dead game, but it's a dead game that actually had lying pieces of shit behind it. Let's just watch this.
All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Listen, if you guys haven't seen my Shatterline video the other day, I talked about how, kind of flying under the radar, the Shatterline developers are removing the game from Steam, coming to Epic Game Store, and
yeah, that's exactly right. They're going to be removing it from Steam because they're going to be putting it on an exclusive launcher. First off, fuck Epic Games. I don't trust that launcher. So good riddance to Shatterline. I'm not going to miss it.
Integrating NFTs and Web3 into the game. I made the video. It's kind of popping off a little bit. And I don't think a lot of people were actually aware that this is what was actually going on because the developers have been just not very transparent about this entire, shift in the focus of their game. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll have a link down below. Go check that out before we jump into this because we now have a Shatterline Q&A which took place yesterday.
A question and answer portion. Well, this is going to get interesting.
And I want to go through the code-filled questions and answers and talk about this entire situation.
Oh, yeah.
Mentioned in this Q&A, so we'll get to that as well. There's only a couple days left on our BenQ Mobius giveaway for all of my people in North America. So if you guys want to join the giveaway, the link will be down below. You can get yourself a new monitor if you win that contest. All right, so going through this Q&A and picking out the most important things, obviously like FragLabs and Faraway are partnering together.
FragLabs used to be something. Now, They're trying to be something and then making something last in the wrong ways possible. I don't know why they decided to put NFTs, but considering that their game is dead, I don't know.
Because their focus is on growth and bringing in a new community of players. So if you're not down for NFTs, fuck off. They don't care about you. They're trying to gather new players. The goal is growth. I'm just going to quote it here. The goal is growth to the game, the community, and the audience. So where I think they're wrong in that statement is the fact that their entire community right now is revolting. They're starting to leave negative reviews. The subreddit is blowing up. The Discord is pissed off. But what's happening is as those old players starting to say fuck off, you're now bringing in crypto bros that don't actually care about the state of the game, the health of the game. They want to figure out how they can flip some drone JPEGs to sell to other people who...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, JPGs that are either useless or lazy being made. They're not artistic expressions. They're not real artistic pieces. So why are NFTs kept being alive, kept being brought in to games? If NFTs have very low value, are they going to do it because they want to mass it up? They want to actually keep growing the number of NFTs instead of just enhancing its quality? That's just what I still do not understand when it comes to NFTs. It is fucking insane now that the Shareline devs are deciding to do this integration from a merger, because they're merging their development studios with another group that actually will concentrate in putting these NFTs to good use. And these NFTs can be put into good use inside the game. You know what? Maybe one of these days, I could try and going into Epic Games only for the reason of seeing if they're going to ruin Shareline. Because if this is no longer becoming a free-to-play, I will only be giving my money to buy their game, only their game, and nothing else, and see if the game is going to be ruined. We need to find out if this game can actually be played without us integrating any of the NFT bullshit. This is something we need to find out for ourselves here. Because if that point cannot be distinguished, Shareline is going to completely fail. We don't want every Shareline, we don't want every FPS to fail. We just wish that there would be good things that would happen to games. And behind the scenes things that can actually make a game worth it or not. We just hope that people are held accountable for it and that people are responsible for what happens to this game. And for any game in particular that's being developed, some things like this. Seriously, it meant something like a lot when it launched as early access. Now, it's actually dying, and it's very much biting the dust, really. Not doing good.
Might not understand what's going on, or like it's an ecosystem of people who just want to make money. They don't care about the game itself because
exactly. That's what's also harmful about this. They don't care about the game itself. They're trying to find a new niche. They're trying to find a new audience because, first off, if you merge it with groups that do not actually care about this type of niche anyway, considering it's FragLabs, I'm not sure if FragLabs is being lazy with all of this or not, but if they really want this game to succeed, they gotta enhance the quality instead of merging with another group to make this game profitable. Because all the same, it's not gonna make this game entirely profitable, to be honest.
Everything I've seen on the internet with all of these discussions, watching things like Earth 2 and Star Atlas, these guys have no idea about actual game development and giving feedback. They just care about the ecosystem and the monetization. Anyways, moving on, the reason they say they're leaving Steam is because, well, Steam bans all games with NFTs. The integration is a lot safer on Epic Games. So, I mean, hey guys, Steam doesn't allow what we're doing. They ban it all. So we're doing it anyway. You know, a little bit of self-awareness here would be fucking great.
Yeah, they lied for us for 2 years. You'd think they'd actually be faithful to the players and be trusting of the players to take it well, but no, they just lied to everyone. They lied to me. I'm gonna give them only the benefit of the doubt as long as the game has some quality in it. Some quality in it. I've yet to see if there's going to be any. I don't care if they're going to be integrated with okay. All right, I will be making this entirely clear for people who are not clear about this. I want to make this entirely clear. I might not want to play this game, but I want to try if it means if there's going to still be a community around Shareline. Because the Shareline community right now in general, they are angry because NFTs are going to be integrated with this, and they're going to move this from Steam to Epic Games. I'm only going to give them a bit of my money, but to try to see if this game changes when it gets into Epic Games at all. But it will be very interesting if it doesn't. It will be very, very interesting if it does not get into Epic Games because of the fucking backlash. Honestly, it would actually be better if someone or a group of people were to actually bankroll this game and that they actually don't find shit and that they actually don't do anything. Really, I just wish. I mean, bankroll for this game so that they are able to just block it from entering Epic Games. Basically, if you want to just put all the backlash into all of this, their Discord, their Steam reviews, everything. All the bankrollers have to do is to make sure they recruit a number of people to mass review this game. All people have to do is just mass review this game. I mean, what the heck is it's okay. You know what? I'm just gonna check the Steam page for Shareline. I've got to know what the I've got to know what their what their okay. It's free right now, and it's in the library. Oh, okay, guys, you have got to see this. The recent reviews are already mostly negative, and if it's going to affect all reviews, well, shit. We are going to see the reviews ourselves. We are going to see the reviews ourselves. Display as recent. It seemed like it had potential at one point, but now they are abandoning any interest in the players to cram it full of NFTs and fantasy football cards. Also, they sold stuff to people here on Steam for 3 years, and now all the will be lost when they leave and move to Epic Games because Steam does not allow NFT games for good reason. Case study in how to ruin your project. Web3 is brain rot cancer that needs, yeah, it needs to go. Devs are NFT huffing losers. Look, I'm not sure what your thinking is when it comes to information, but on this. But let me just tell you, if the devs have no choice but to actually go through with this, and they have to do this just because there's no actual fucking way. There's no other fucking way to actually have them, you know. Hold on. I'm just gonna make sure that that this thing is seen here. If there was no actual fucking way for all of this shit for them to actually make it more profitable, that this is their only way, right? Integrate with NFTs, paying guys would actually be playing this game. They would be using their NFTs to go with the game. But the problem is, if the quality itself during early access is bad, what makes them think that NFT hustlers and NFT users are going to come into their game and actually make this game more profitable for FragLabs in the first place? It won't. That's the problem with it. Fine, there's a level of quality and polish in the game itself during early access, but if it's not changed or overhauled when it gets into Epic Games, I think it's going to fail. It is going to fail big time with the NFT users and NFT buyers out there. That's why it is inevitable it will be dying out and it will be forgotten. It will struggle. It will hold on, but it will not have the game itself, although it is a platform for NFTs, it will die out easily. And that's what we don't like to happen. But of course, if the devs are pieces of shit, if the devs are actual pieces of shit, and it was actually proven that it is like that from the beginning, legally, it's gonna be a problem for them. Okay? Ah, man. I hate to be in their shoes, but all they had to do is learn. All they just had to do was learn from their mistakes. It seems after all this time, they haven't learned at all. Let's just resume this.
Guys. But somebody asked, will Shatterline ever go back to Steam? They say they want to, but their current focus is on Epic Games. Maybe later if Steam...
No, their current focus is integrating NFTs to make them profitable. They're not using their own words correctly. They want to focus on Epic Games? No, that's a lie. They want to focus on being profitable. They don't want to go back to Steam. They want to go and make sure that NFTs are integrated so that they earn a lot of money for this. But the problem is, if the quality of the game itself is not good already on Steam and early access, and if the marketing is weak, you think the marketing will actually be boosted if more NFT users come? How are they going to promote this game if the game itself, while it's already considered polished in early access, is not even considered polished? How? How would they promote this? How would they actually fucking promote this? Hopefully, there will be something good that actually comes out of this, like gambling and all other the usage of money. But seriously, I have low hopes for Shatterline. But I will still try to get the Epic Games launcher just to try out this game and see if something works. And if it does not work, I will just be laughing my ass off, and I will be leaving this game forever. Because honestly, I'm looking for a bit more content than what they're dishing out. Fine, they're leaving content, but where is their marketing for this? They lack a lot of it. That's why this game doesn't matter. Right now. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It's really sad.
Steam changes their policies, you might see Shatterline again. But for now, there's just no way it can do it because it's against Steam's terms of service, which is why you're going to be seeing the game be removed from Steam and go to Epic Games. But the question you probably have is, well, what happens if I have stuff in my account on Shatterline, whether or not I purchased it or earned it in game? Like, do those things transfer over? Are we going to get some sort of account migration? Nope. A full account migration from Steam to Epic Games is unfortunately not realistic. They cannot promise a one-to-one transfer. But, guys, they're going to present the community with several options on what they can do in terms of either offering rewards, maybe in the terms of drones you can use in the game, or, they're going to figure out what the best option is for you guys. So the real answer is they have no fucking idea, but chances are anything you have in your inventory is probably not coming over.
It's actually natural. I don't mind if my inventory will be reset, as long as the progression will stay the same. The progression in the game is at least okay. The last time I actually played Shatterline, I'm still able to grind for the weapons I'm still able to get. It doesn't matter if not all my weapons are unlocked by the end of by the last time I played Shatterline. I don't really care by that time, as long as the progression is still there. As long as the progression is still there. If progression is okay, I'm definitely going to say the progression is okay. I am not going to complain about it. It is great. It is something that actually is fine with me. As long as they as long as they keep that. As long as they keep that when it gets to the Epic Games. I don't really care about the inventory being reset.
A lot
And
of
I don't really care if there is going to be an account integration or not either. The progression is what matters on this game at the moment. It is making at least this game decent, but not high quality enough.
people have asked me in the past about a console release. Truthfully, they say they're not there yet. They want the game to be perfect on PC, and by perfect, they mean like crypto bro riddled and whatever the hell this is going to be. When asked how they're actually going to acquire new players, the question it's a solid one. Like, how's this going to bring new people to the game?
Exactly. If the marketing is already weak, how is that going to bring in new players?
They're actively.
It's still the same question that it always goes back to that same question. Even if you're going to integrate this with NFTs and crypto, how are you going to bring in new players if the quality of the game enough and if the marketing is not enough? That's what we keep asking. We never get a straight answer.
Working.
It's because the devs are pretty much lazy, either lazy or useless. Basically, they only get mouthpieces to say, "Oh, we're trying our best." Of fucking what? Seriously. You know, FragLabs, it's best you move your development studio somewhere else, because if Ukraine cannot do a better job in keeping things together, then my God, you guys have to do better somewhere else. Move to the United States if you have to. But seriously, you guys are not doing well in Ukraine. Move it somewhere else. You don't want to get overtaken by Russia, then move your fucking company out of Ukraine.
On prize pools for both normal.
That is your only excuse. Piece of shit, FragLabs. That is your only fucking excuse for people to actually take pity on you. Is because you are in Ukraine. It does not excuse you for not doing well enough, for making this much better than how it is. Don't make fucking excuses if you want to actually get the loyalty of your players. The laziness I am already seeing on this just because of the decision making you have, considering that you're already integrating with NFTs. Fucking hell. Fucking laziness is already seen on this. And even if I am going to try to tolerate it, to try to play your game on the Epic Games launcher, I still don't fucking like it. Do not mistake my compassion, my logic understanding for this game for compassion. Do not fucking mistake it. There's still some hope for this game, but that hope is thinning out fast.
Normal players and creators. So, content creators are going to be incentivized to invite others into the game, but for things like, I don't know, maybe like net shared revenue share. Ooh, they're also going to be doing Twitch drops, which, as far as I'm aware, they've only done one Twitch drop campaign in the past 3 fucking years. And I don't know if it went well. I have no idea, but now they're going to focus on doing it again. Why didn't you do this throughout the last 2 years? Oh, and guys, they're also adding what they're calling a fantasy sports layer to the game. So it's going to exist completely outside of the game itself. But get this, guys. Pro Shatterline players will have cards that are of them. They're going to be NFTs, of course. Players can acquire these cards, and the pro player's performance determines the performance of that card. This is going to allow players that are less competitive but still want to participate to use these cards in a fantasy environment.
I don't know how the fuck to explain that line. I just know that when it comes to esports being given another purpose, like gambling or something like that, I just... Wow. I just wish things were not vague, but if there are details being left vague for us, and then it's being left to the players to just translate everything, they're... For some reason, publishers and developers at this time who are trying to do these types of decisions are not just doing a good job explaining the way it should be explained. For some reason.
What? And like, I'm not even fucking making this up. This is exactly how they explained why this is coming to fruition.
I'll just say one of the big things in Web3 is there's the game, but there's always this meta or economic layer that forms around the game. You know, sometimes people are lending out their assets to other people to compete. But for us, one of the things that we're doing is adding this fantasy sports layer to the game. This will exist completely out of the game, but it'll keep people involved that wouldn't necessarily be the most competitive on leaderboards, but still want to participate in the game and game economy.
What they mean by people who might not be able to compete on leaderboards are the people they're actively trying to seek for this game. These are people who don't know how to play games at that level, but still want to, you know, be involved in the economy. So crypto bros, just fucking say it.
Think of it as, you know, pro players basically have cards. Those cards are of them as like a pro player. So it's like your card. It's your NFT card. People can acquire those cards. They can play basically a fantasy sport version of the game with the stats. Think of it as like the pro player that's playing. Their performance determines that card's performance. And people can basically stake those cards and play.
If this is meta bullshit and it's all going virtual and then you play in another way, you're not competitive at all, you don't want to play the game, fucking just say it, man. Wow. Just wow. Wow. The wording that they're using, they're confusing everyone. They're actually confusing everyone.
The game without really playing the game, right? So they can basically play on a kind of like
no. All that actually matters to me is the fucking game, bro. Honestly, all that actually fucking matters to me is the fucking game. Okay, that's all that actually matters to me. But this is complete nonsense.
Vicariously through that pro player. And the cool thing with the pro players is, you know, if the pro players are winning and they have a lot of people that are picking up their cards, then they also get rewarded and they don't have to do anything. And again, this doesn't affect game balance at all. What it does do is it creates a layer for people that are, you know, spectating to basically play fantasy sports. So it's like fantasy sports on top of like baseball or football or whatever else. And that's another kind of like cool integration that doesn't really touch the gameplay directly, but does deliver something that's actually pretty interesting to the Web3 community and should be beneficial to the players as well.
And just how it's beneficial to the actual players. Well, that's a great question. Now, the video I released, obviously I was pissed off at the fact that they haven't disclosed any of this stuff. They've been discussing it with this company. Faraway came out in their Discord and said they've been working with Shatterline for over 2 years to get this integration going. Somebody actually asked them in this Q&A, have you really been working together for 2 years? Their answer, and I want you guys to keep focused here.
There's been some questions about us working together for 2 years on this. I think somewhere there was like a misinterpretation. So we first started talking to the Shadowline team in general. This is back in 2022. And we were exploring, you know, what a blockchain integration could look like. But back in 2022, it just wasn't the right time. You know, they were focused on gameplay, and that was the right decision. And then in 2023, again, like focused on gameplay, and that was the right decision. But, you know, we kept exploring, and eventually, you know, something made sense. And we, you know, again, like everybody here, like everybody on the FragLab or on the Faraway teams, everybody wants to see, you know, more players come to the game. And I assume players also want to see more and different types of rewards, you know, come to the game as well. So even though we've been exploring something since 2022, nothing was implemented until more recently.
While the game is still in early access with no release date in sight, it feels like there's a time and space to integrate these new types of rewards and Web3. They've been exploring options since 2022, but nothing was decided or implemented until more recently. With that, somebody then asked them how they feel about my video from a few days ago, which I think is sparking this huge conversation around this game. Their answer is insane.
I think his main complaint that this was planned in the background since 2022. I
It
believe.
was one of his complaints, yes.
Yeah, I think I just addressed that a little bit earlier, that we've explored it, but nothing was concretely planned. So I think what would have been better for Big Fry to do would be like reach out, get like clarification before making a video. But of course, everybody loves to engagement farm.
You literally just said that you have been talking with this company since 2022. It wasn't the right time for an integration, so things got shelved. You then picked up conversations again in 2023. The conversation kind of went somewhere. You thought maybe they could get something.
Engagement farming. So they basically said, he's just engagement farming. Fuck you. Are you talking well enough about this thing?
Maybe it's not the right time. You then shelved it again. And then in 2024, now's the time for the integration. So,
I mean, what the fuck? The conversation keeps breaking the fuck down. The conversation keeps breaking the fuck down. Big Fry is validated for this. Big Fry is entirely validated for what he is doing, considering that the devs have been trying to talk shit out for years. The talks keep breaking down, and the conversation does not get anywhere on the integration. They should have done something to at least make sure that everyone else knows, but nope. For 2 years, it stayed hidden. It stayed fucking hidden. That's what I hate about this. There is no transparency. No fucking transparency with the public on this. This is what I hate about these corporate greed fucks, okay? This is what I really just hate.
realistically, you guys have been fielding options for Web3 and crypto NFT integration since 2022. Yeah, sure, nothing was decided. Maybe contracts weren't signed. But to sit there and try to gaslight everybody and say that we weren't even, like, this wasn't even a thing in 2022. Listen, you don't...
This wasn't even a thing in 2022, but you had plans as soon as the conversation fucking started. Fuck you, nothing was decided. You were planning this.
Talk to companies and try to figure out ways whether or not it works or not. Here's the thing, in 2022, you discussed it and you thought about it, and then you realize if you're even thinking about it, that tells me that it's on the table.
Exactly! Exactly! That's what matters. You're talking about it. You're discussing on this. Not only is it a possibility, but it's an option you're already taking. Nothing was decided, my ass. This is already part of the decision as soon as it becomes possible. As soon as it becomes possible. And you never disclosed it to everyone who's actually playing your fucking game. Fuck you, FragLabs. Fuck you. You still have not disclosed it to everyone else. Fuck you.
And then if the company comes back a year later or however long later, and you guys are talking again and trying to figure it out, maybe it's not the right time, we're focused on other avenues, let's talk in the future. And then now we're doing it. You have been planning this since 2022. It just might have not been the right time for the integration. But don't sit here and try to gaslight me and lie to your community by saying that it's not true, that this hasn't been planned in the background. It might not have been planned very well, what we're seeing from the account integrations coming from Steam to Epic, which aren't existing. Like, we're not saying you guys have done a good job planning it, but don't fucking lie and don't gaslight your community. To sit there and say I should have reached out to you and then equate it to me just trying to farm it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to gather pity parties. Fuck you, FragLabs. Not only have you done a fucking abysmal job trying to market it, trying to market your game, but you haven't. But you were in fucking mixed talks with someone who's going to put in NFTs, or a group that's putting NFTs. You haven't done your best to keep the game afloat, and now you give us this bombshell that you guys are just going to go right ahead without our output. Our output is we've been reviewing your fucking game, and you gave us no input in regards to the future of it. You only make sure that this game is being optimized as best as you could. But this is a huge fucking deal. Putting crypto right into this game is a bad move in itself if you have not been maintaining the actual structure of the game itself. If the actual structure of the game itself is weak from your own marketing and from how the mechanics are, how are you going to profit from NFT users who are going to try and get into your game and then put that in the marketing in the first place? You won't, because the rate of players joining into your game with NFTs or without it will not be this. It will always stay the same, regardless of how many NFT users you're going to get into the game. Okay. You're only going to insert secondary functions into the game, but that's not going to do much. Fuck you. You want to make sure this game is profitable, but if the base game is not doing well at all, what's the fucking point? What is the point in putting NFTs in the first place if the game was already doing bad on early access? Lazy pieces of shit, FragLabs. Move the fuck out of Ukraine. Do fucking better. I thought you guys were actually had potential and you didn't know much, but I didn't think you guys would actually be this fucking stupid.
Engagement. If I wanted to farm engagement, Shatterline would be literally one of the last games I would go to for engagement. The reason I covered it is because I had a lot of faith in you guys. I believed in the vision, and you know, Shatterline has been struggling for years, but it was a really good game at one point that you guys just squandered all potential out of. So yeah, I'm gonna cover it. It's not for every video I make, I want my people to see it. If that constitutes farming engagement, then sure. Of course, I make videos for people to see them. Nothing I said was inaccurate. All of this stuff is now coming out into the public light because I talked about it. Because you guys failed to let your people know in your initial post when you said you were removing the game from Steam. Yeah. No mention of NFTs, no nothing. Nobody knew about it. The gaslighting and the lying is off the fucking charts right now. But here's the thing, they go on to say that Big Fry's still a great content creator and a good guy. Maybe in the future when he sees the game, I don't want to talk about NFT crypto integration in games. I haven't seen it work yet. If you guys break the norm, it might be a thing. Do I have faith that you're going to do it? Absolutely not. Because you guys have been lying about this entire situation from the jump. Hell, you guys, like I said in my last video, you didn't even have the balls to announce it in your announcement that you're removing the game from Steam. You made no mention of NFTs and crypto because you knew the backlash was going to be significant and you knew that you would have to face the music. You sold your entire community up the river.
Yep.
You're in the middle of an early
development.
You're removing the game from Steam, going to a different platform, and now not even able to promise that the people that either bought things in their account or earned things in their account are going to bring things over.
Yeah, that is true. That is actually true. You know, if FragLabs were at least, if they have moved out of Ukraine to somewhere else, maybe their own thinking would have changed. Maybe their own thinking would have led them to actually just think things differently than just staying in that bubble of their own knowledge. Maybe that could have been more of a thing than just staying like this. But no. They decided they wanted to actually take the lazy way out and just they shouldn't have lied. They shouldn't have lied to everyone else, okay? They shouldn't have lied to us. But nope. Greed had something to also do with this. So I think their laziness was being overridden by something else. That's why they probably don't actually think that they're lazy. They didn't even see that. They didn't actually see. They didn't actually see that they want to let the Bucks come in. And then yeah, just it's just terrible. The way they actually want to decide the future of this shit is terrible. This is the thing they want to do.
It is pathetic that you were sitting here talking about, everyone loves engagement. Oh, it's not true. You lied. You got caught, you got called out, and now you're dealing with the consequences. I will have a link to the entire Q&A down below. I'm not going to go through every single question, but it's funny. A lot of the questions are like, hey, where's custom games? Why are the servers lagging? Are you guys going to think about changing things? Literally everything that people ask for is like, we have a priority list, guys, but thank you for the feedback, but we're focusing on other things right now. And when you look around the landscape, the focus is on fucking NFTs. Like, that's the sole focus of the game right now, is getting this drone Web3 integration in. Like, literally scrolling through this list. Hold on here. Custom games. Are these in the works? Maybe we'll get back to it, but you won't see it anytime soon. You scroll down a little bit. The game servers are choppy. Are the intentions to change providers? They say we don't plan on switching providers. Are there plans to add options to play against PvP AI?
Boy.
Requires a lot of work. At the moment, we're not working. What are you working on? The game's been in development for 3+. It's been development.
It's in public development.
What are you doing? This person asked, can we bring back the longer 4-section version of the PvE mode? Yeah, we see what you mean. Please add it to the feedback list. We'll talk about it. Can we get separate loadouts for PvP and PvE? Yeah, it's going to add double the load onto the database, which is why we don't have it. Okay. This question here, is there going to be new weapons or maps in the full release of the game? Yeah, we'll see if there's unreleased content that we can add into the full release, but the focus is currently on the PvE game modes, since this is the easiest game mode to introduce new and casual players to. What they don't say is it's also the easiest mode to bring these NFTs into, which is what we're going to use to monetize the shit out of the game.
It's like they're weaponizing PvEs. They're weaponizing PvE so that it can actually better their game and that they can actually put their crypto NFT bullshit too. It's for multiplayer shooters like this. PvEs are quite important to make sure that there is management in the story, and at the same time, you're introducing new mechanics to the game. So it's not just player versus player. If there's a player versus everyone, there is a need to be a good sense of polish. But if the PvE is not perfect and you're going to put shit that is a pay to win thing, or something that can give a better experience through your game just because you need to take something out of your wallet every fucking time, then how the fuck is that? How the fuck is that not a headache for you? It should be a headache for you because you're only supporting this game because you're doing it for the heck of it. You don't support this game for the heck of it. You support this game on the basis that this game means something to you and that this game will go far. Not on the basis that the developers are giving you money. Not on the basis that the developers are trying to do something better. The developers actually do not matter. If this game is actually good, then you can praise the developers. But if the game isn't, what the fuck are the developers and the publishers supposed to do? They should better their game, but no, this is not what they do. Instead, they want to integrate something that they think is valuable, but is not. But they think is profitable, but is not. That is not going to change the state of the fucking game. But no, they're just gonna keep lying to players just to get their way. That's what I don't like about FragLabs.
game. This person asks, is there going to be plans to implementing a server browser so you can select and join an existing lobby instead of waiting in long queue times? These server browsers can be very easily exploitable, so that's going to be difficult. What do you mean easily exploitable? Server browsers have been around since the 90s. Custom lobbies might be more likely, but when resources and progression is earned, lobby browsers can be abused very easily, so this is not planned. Just make custom lobbies unranked. It's not that fucking hard. You guys are doing everything in your power to not give the players what they're asking for. Yet
Exactly. There's a way to give players what they're asking for if only they actually think hard on it and try to give restrictions on their. They're not opening their eyes. They're not opening up their horizons here. Basically, they're restricting the more they restrict themselves, the more they're limiting the functions of the game, the more the game will lose potential. That in itself is already a main excuse that they're using to limit the functions of the game, to limit the mechanics of the game. That is worse. That is actually worse. And if they've been doing this since early access, wow.
at the
No
same
wonder their game is failing bad.
time, all throughout this, you guys keep saying about how feedback is so crucial and they want to build this game with the community. Everything that has to do with not NFTs is being completely shut down in this Q&A. But when you're talking about, these NFTs, these HVs, this fucking fantasy football ass card thing that's going to be happening outside the game, that's where our focus is. What a great early access development. A question I've seen a lot in the last year or so about expedition runs. So Stagger in PvE kills a lot of new player expedition runs. This person asks, it's bad for player retention. Do you plan on changing this? We don't have a proper answer on this right now. We have to look at the data and talk to the design. What are you guys doing?
There's no good player retention. The reason why they're not saying this up front is because they do not want to lose their entire player base. If they say right in front of us that they are not able to make a good play, they will not be able to make a good player retention as soon as this game is integrated with NFTs. This is their fucking last-ditch effort. This is their entire last-ditch effort to try and save this game, but they're not doing a good job at it. You tell me if they're doing a good job. You just tell me if they're doing a good job. And you've proven me wrong, but nope, that's not happening. That is not happening at all. Really, really not happening at all.
It seems to me like the last year or so has been spent on this integration. Your focus has definitely shifted from making a game that people actually want to fucking play to making a game that can bring in a brand new crowd of crypto bros. You're going all in on this bet. And normally I would say more power to you, kudos, good luck. This time around, I actually hope, based on this fucking Q&A and the fact that you guys have been lying, you're gaslighting your community and everything that has transpired over the past 4 days, I hope you actively fall flat on your face. This entire Q&A was a joke, spawned because your community is starting to revolt, and you can just see in their responses that anything regarding the actual game health, game balancing, or feature sets for the game itself is met with either we don't know or we don't care. But when it comes to talking about, HVs and Faraway and fucking crypto and NFTs, they definitely seem way more excited about that. I'm going to have a link to the Q&A here. It is on Reddit. It was posted by a user named Solus Centaur. I appreciate you, compiling all of these answers. I believe there is also a video floating around where you can listen to the responses. I guess this happened on Discord. The whole thing's pathetic. As somebody who was an avid supporter of Shatterline in its early days, and to watch where this game has gone, making changes the community hated about expeditions and how you actually, unlock skins and cosmetics.
Very much, yeah.
Watch this happen is fucking insane. It only makes trust in early access products worse. And when you think about this game here,
This is going to give a number of early access games a bad name as well. depending on where the developers would actually be going with the game, the only thing that we're asking as gamers, at least, is to have transparency. Have good transparency and see that there is an actual line between developers and publishers if interests do not align. I like it if the developers and publishers have a line on this, but for some reason, FragLabs does not have a line. They just go all in on the decision and they don't fucking talk about this. They're not being reflective on this. Heck, they even lied for a few years just to try and keep this game afloat. But nope. Transparency comes first. FragLabs. And fucking hell. You want to move on? Move the fuck out of Ukraine, FragLabs.
We're all sold on a vision for the game. Back in the day, developers said no Web3, no crypto, no nothing. And it was all a lie.
Yeah, they said no. They have to keep... Okay, basically, this is just one of their protocols. If they're on a ship and they steer the ship, and if the ship is sinking, this is one of the protocols. Lie to prevent a panic. In this case, lie to prevent an outrage. Fuck you, FragLabs. I'm gonna try your game when it gets to Epic Games, but while it's on Steam, for the remainder of this time when it's on Steam, no, fuck you. But if Epic Games is going to be putting Shareline in, and there is NFT integration, I'm only going to play it. I'm only giving you some of the money, but I'm not going to buy NFTs. Fuck you, FragLabs. I'm not going to have you profit, but you will only get a base. You will only be getting the base game fee from me, just to see if the game has polish at all. But you will get nothing else from me. We will see if the game actually maintains itself. But if the game actually crashes and falls down before getting to Epic Games, fuck you. You deserve it. You fucking deserve it.
I just don't think this is the pivot that brings people to the game. It might bring some crypto bros in, but they're not going to stick around. They're not loyal to you. They're loyal to their wallets. And that, like, good luck. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, you'll see Big Fry on the next one, and hopefully he doesn't report on this ever again because it's really stressful for him too. Thank God you actually have a good thing going there. It is great that you actually had to report on this, Big Fry. Thank you. We needed that, considering that Shareline is failing a lot,